Hello, you're watching Proactive. I'm joined by Stephane Foucaud. He's the founding partner of Auctus Advisors. Stephane, very happy new year to you. We're discussing Sintana Energy today. Could you tell me why the company is so interesting now and why is it such a good time to look at the shares?
Oh, first, thank you for having me today, and likewise, Happy New Year. Well, there is first a Namibia story. I mean, Namibia at the moment is the world hotspot for exploration. This is the place to be. Tens of billions of barrels have been encountered over the last 3 years in the Orange Basin, and this is basically exceptional. So the supermajors have been piling in. 2024 was already a good year for Sintana for the industry in Namibia, but 2025, the drilling program looks even more exciting, more extensive. BP, ENI, Total, Chevron will all be drilling high impact exploration wells on various blocks. Overall, I think we have 6 blocks with 9 wells, all different, that will be drilled by those companies. And the reason why Sintana is so interesting is that Sintana is the only small cap company, publicly listed, that provide exposure to this program. Sintana owns 3 blocks out of the 6 where drilling will take place. So this is a very good opportunity for investors to get exposure to that program. In addition, while the share price of Sintana has dropped about 25% from the highs of 2024, the risk profile of the company is arguably better. Why do I say that? Because last year they made the big Mopane discovery on a block called PL83 with Galp. Galp has started a farm out process that will provide basically a read-through value on this interest held by Sintana and provide some support to the shares.
Well, let's first focus on what they've found so far. There's been a lot of chat in the markets. How would you look at valuing this?
Yeah, so Galp, the operator of PL83, where Mopane has been discovered and in which Sintana has an interest, has said that 10 billion barrels of gas and condensate and oil have been encountered in the license. You apply 30% recovery factor, given the quality of the hydrocarbon, and you got about 3 billion barrels. Apply 4.9% for Sintana interest, that's about 150 million barrels net to Sintana. Since then, 2 further appraisal wells have been drilled. Again, that was more to define better discovery, and while no further indication of volume has been indicated by Galp, suffice to say that the result of the drilling has been very good. And actually, they've even encountered a new reservoir that will be additive to the volume encountered so far. So with the ongoing farm out process run by Galp, there's been a lot of chatter to put a value on this interest, and arguably to put a value as a result on Sintana shares. Very limited information is available, has been provided basically by the operators of the various discoveries in Namibia. So the way we have looked at this is we have looked at recent analog transaction in the Orange Basin in Namibia. And there is one which is particularly interesting and logical to compare with Sintana. This is the acquisition by Africa Oil of a small stake in Impact Oil and Gas in late 2024. You will see there are a lot of similarities. So Impact hold 10% of Block 56 with the large, very famous Venus discovery operated by Total. The order of magnitude based on press data in terms of size is about similar to Mopane, similar numbers. The size, the resources at Venus include a lot of gas. Again, similar to Mopane. And Impact is being carried through the drilling program like Sintana with Galp on similar basically terms. So overall, very similar profile of asset. Then when we use the price paid by Africa Oil, corrected for the relative working interest of in Venus and for Sintana in Mopane, we get about $500 million just for the net interest of Sintana in Mopane. Take out 35% capital gain tax, take out another 10% discount to be a bit cautious, and you get about $1.10 per share for Sintana. This is basically the current share price, which suggests that basically there is nothing in the share price for the incredible upcoming drilling program at Sintana.
Let's dig into the Sintana drilling program then, Stephane. What's firm and how material is it to the value of the business?
So the firm remaining drilling program in 2025 for Sintana consists of 3 wells. First, Capana 1X is an high-impact exploration well that has been spud already by Chevron on Block 90. It is just north of Venus. Similar materiality is expected as for Venus or Mopane. So everything has been equal, success, $1.10 per share. Then there will be the result of 2 exploration wells at Block 83 with Galp that could increase the size of Mopane. Here again, Galp is looking for super giant prospects, so could also potentially be of similar size as what Sintana has already discovered. So as you can see, already what is firm could really rewrite the share price.
There's also the block to the north with Pan Continental. Do you see this progressing?
Yes, well, you're talking about Block 87, PL 87, and Woodside, the Australian company, has basically an option to buy a large stake in that asset in return for funding for drilling. So we expect the option will be exercised later this year with the drilling to follow suit. The target there, we talk about the Saturn super giant fan. So this is again a giant prospect with similar size as Mopane, or at least similar expected order of magnitude. But Sintana has a larger working interest in this license. So again, here success is like $1.50 a share.
Stephane, other companies are drilling at other blocks. Does this impact Sintana?
Yeah, as you said, there are a lot of drilling activities happening in other licenses. And again, what's interesting here is that those drilling activities are happening on blocks just adjacent to Sintana assets. So there could be some interesting read-through for Sintana assets. So first, BP and ENI are drilling an exploration well on PL 85. The well has already been spud. This is drilling is happening as we speak, and a success could have a positive impact for Sintana block PL 83 when Mopane is located. Total is also currently drilling a big exploration well on PL 56 that's called Tambote. Success could have a positive read-through on PL 90 with Sintana, and the target is very close to the license with Chevron. And lastly, BW Energy has announced that they will be drilling 2 wells later this year on their own license in shallower water called PL 03. And that could have a positive read-through impact on Sintana PL 79 shallow water block. We have not talked about this block yet, but that's again further potential upside.
Stephane, in conclusion, how would you describe Sintana as an investment proposition?
Well, at the moment, as I mentioned, this is quite interesting, very interesting. The share price reflects the value of Mopane only, or at least what we expect the industry is valuing that interest at. And that is expected to be crystallized with the farm out process with Galp. So that protects the downside case for the shares in case the drilling program is not successful. Any exploration success at any of PL 90 with Chevron, PL 87 with Woodside, or PL 83 with Galp, in any of these could basically double the valuation. If you assume a success at 2, it's more than triple. And that does not include anything for the shallower water block that I was talking about. So watch the space.
Definitely something to watch going forward. Stephane, thank you very much for your insights today.
Thank you. Bye for now.
That's Stephane Foucaud. He's founding partner of Auctus Advisors.